In this episode of the Exploring Information Security Podcast, HallwayCon from ShowMeCon 2024.
Computers now have primary control of critical functions.
Houston, recommend vector transfer.
Your go for APU shutdown on time.
Roger, go for deploy.
Nice to be in orbit.
Welcome to the Exploring Information Security Podcast, where you will learn, explore, and grow your security mindset. I'm your host, Timothy D. Block, and in this episode, we will be exploring the halls of ShowMeCon 2024. Show notes can be found at exploresec.com/EIS. You can support the podcast by donating. You can also sign up for the newsletter and also get feedback for the show. You can hit me up directly, timothy.dblock@exploresec.com. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. If you are going to connect with me on LinkedIn, hit me up, leave a message or a note saying that you're a listener, and I will happily connect. And then you can rate the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. So this is a very unique episode in that I pretty much just decided to take my recording equipment and a microphone and walk around ShowMeCon and just have conversations with people and talk to them. And taking a microphone around a security conference is not necessarily a great idea. People can be very uncomfortable, but as long as you're straightforward with people about it, they pretty much open up. And as you'll hear, out of the selected content, there were some really great conversations going on, and so that's kind of the intent of the podcast, is to show people like what's going on with hallway conversations. One of my favorite things to do at conferences is go and participate in HallwayCon and talk to people, because you can get some really good insights. You can build relationships, you can network, get to meet new people. There's just a really lot of value to it, and so I want to kind of try to capture that a little bit and put that into a podcast form. So this is a bit of an experimental episode. Would really love feedback if people either enjoy it or hate it. You know, even if you just turn it off, you're like, after a minute, I didn't really like this. That's fine too. Just let me know, because I'd like to do this a little bit more, and I might invest in some different, like a shotgun microphone, so I don't have to hold up a microphone directly in someone's face. I can just kind of hold it back and just point it at them and capture some audio. I try to do that a little bit with the microphone, so that's why not all of it's in here. Also, I recorded probably about 2 to 3 hours worth of content, so I didn't want to make that long of an episode, but I want to capture some of kind of the highlights and kind of show people what it's all about and really why you should be participating in it. So with that, we'll get right into it.
I was literally just telling this youngster at the about how to use the HallwayCon to meet people and connect with people and make sure that you get good advice about what you want to do every day. The two things that matter for finding a good security job: know who you want to work for and how they work, know what you want to do day to day, and do that, because you can do almost any kind of thing.
I love that. Your response?
I'll try to talk to people.
The skill of talking to people is also a really good one to pick up, I might recommend. This is all learned behavior, by the way. I had to study books and take classes to do this.
Yeah, I was going to say, like I volunteered to get out of, because I don't walk up to people and talk to people. Me shoving a mic in people's face is actually very nerve-wracking right now, but I'm doing it. Yeah.
You're doing awesome. You're doing a great job.
I appreciate that.
Always a fan of your work.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yes.
I'm just walking around with a microphone at a security conference and seeing what happens.
I give you consent to record me whenever I'm around.
Not everybody here will feel like that, though.
No, but I give you consent to record me. You have to still check with everybody else.
You around now.
You can. There's way worse ideas. There's way better ideas, but there's way worse ideas as well.
This is now the Ben Miller podcast.
Like that hasn't happened before. Do you remember Tony Bryan at CyberUp? He just reached out to me the other day and was like, "Hey, you want to hop on and talk about cons?" And I was like, "Yes," because I knew this was coming up.
Cons, yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, this won't come out until after ShowMeCon." I'm like, so sad. Yeah. But yeah, be watching for that. I talked about the usefulness of cons and how to meet people and talk around. Yeah, that's what I love. B-Side St. Louis will be in 2024. I just haven't got an official date and venue yet, but we're working on it.
You got to move it off October. Otherwise, I'm not coming.
I actually am working on that.
Okay.
November work?
November, depends.
Early November.
Depends.
Okay.
But, yes, we'll see.
I've been wanting to make it out there for so long, but it's
been really good. We've had 8 good years. COVID killed some things, but we still had a remote version that was led by some awesome individuals, but the guard has changed yet again, and unfortunately I had to take some things back over to help out, so yeah, I'll be doing B-sides. Good seeing you guys. Run around, have fun.
So here, I'm going to show you a tip. What's your name? Oh, we've met before. Andrew? I'm Tim.
You have met.
I have. Yeah. I'll cut out your name if you want me to, by the way.
It's kind of unnerving, the first time somebody sticks a camera in your face, because I was here and Dave was like, here, give a testimonial, and you step up to the microphone or the camera and you're like, and you just completely
it
go
takes
blank.
practice.
But,
It does.
Yeah, learning to talk to people is important.
I will.
There's a guy named Johnny Christmas. Who's
Yes.
got a talk here. That's
Great
on YouTube
talk.
that I'll show you about talking to people, because
Yep.
it is a skill, a learned skill.
Yes.
What I will what I tell people is the number one thing to do is just ask questions of people, because people love to talk.
Most tech people, you got to.
But you got to find that interest, and that's where you just start. And sometimes it's going to be a stinker, right? And you're going to bomb it, or you're just not going to connect with everybody, and that's fine too. But if you ask a question and you're into what they love talking about, then they'll start talking.
That's a whole Dale Carnegie thing, even.
Yeah.
Find the way to let them talk about what they want to talk about, and you will never have to fill space again. I can do this all day.
Tips from ShowMeCon.
I have a bunch of them.
I'm sure you do. Yeah.
A friend that I used to work with at the hospital was like, "Yeah, I knew it was you."
Green shirt. Is that the same green shirt? It is not.
I've had to restock. I have had enough of them wear out over the years that I currently have 7, and almost all of them are new within the last 2 years. So definitely not the last shirt you saw me in.
You got it. I mean, you gotta. Do you like mark them, like tag them, and then like retire them?
Just a little bit. Like this is one of the ones that has the sector 1824, or what does that say? 2814. I had the right numbers. I just never can remember it in the right order. And so, I've got like 2 of these, and I've got a few others that are the lighter green as opposed to the Kelly green. I've got a few of them that say something different on them instead of just the symbol. But yeah, they're always, green is easy to find in this sea of polos and black t-shirts with something snarky on it. So, although that's changing a little bit. I see a little more blue than I usually do at a business hacker conference.
Why slightly less jackets? Yeah. I wore this shirt, this flowery shirt, because I was like, but I see like a ton of people wearing them, so I'm like, maybe I'm just fitting in.
Especially when you talk about, and again, something I can wax eloquent along for way too long, when you've got a business conference, you see a lot of people in the polos. When you've got, an even more, let's say, prestigious business con, you'll see the suit coats. And
like RSA.
I wasn't going to say it.
We could say RSA.
I don't want to say RSA.
Oh, I should have
strong opinions against. But anyway.
A lot of people have strong opinions. There was a conversation last night.
We're all set. No breaking. All good. Where was I? But anyway, yeah, so like the old school DerbyCon, it was everybody wore a black t-shirt. I mean, I won't wear it that often, but I will. Oh, you're replacing his? Because he wears his all the time? Well, no, that's good. I'll totally take it.
What just happened?
So Metzger, for the longest time, wore that brown Hacker U hat so often that he's had to have it replaced because he's trashed it.
A good hat.
Colorado, yeah.
I've had a couple of those.
My head's too big for a hat. But no, like DerbyCon and old hacker conferences, everybody was in a black t-shirt with something snarky written on it, because we're punks or whatever. And so, dear friend of mine, Lil Lost, was like, I'm not wearing black, I'm going to wear pink. And I didn't have a whole bunch of pink stuff. So I was like, all right, I have a bunch of Green Lantern shirts, I'll do that. And it's easy to spot me from much further away in a sea of black t-shirts or overcoats and suit coats and whatnot.
My
chic look is just to pour a sport coat over it. And then, I look like I'm businessy.
Yeah. Well, that's what I liked about this conference, though, is that it was like more business focused.
I have had hackers come up to me and tell me that there's too many business people here, and I have had business people come up and tell me that there's too many memes in the slides, and I'm like, yes, that's the point. This is the balance. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yes, and I think if you're getting your own bubble, right, then you
lose sight of a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a good mix where everybody can learn. Like the conversation going on behind us about programming, I can overhear. There's business stuff being talked about. People are making deals, and there's going to be a lot of learning.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Have you guys been to ShowMeCon before?
Yes, I actually came to the last one before it closed down. So
2019, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that. Was that your first time coming?
that was actually my second one. So I'm really glad that this is back on and glad to be back here.
Yeah, a lot of people. What about you?
This is my first one. I'm with this guy, so.
Blue shirt, by the way?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. We were talking about the diversity in color now within these security conferences.
Black T-shirts, as far as the eye could see. Black T-shirts and something snarky written on it.
Except for Ben.
Except for Ben's, always green. Yeah, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to
I
stick
did
out.
bring one of those, but I left it in my room this morning.
All right, all right. Tomorrow's another day.
Did you bring a Green Lantern shirt?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
Just
you brought a black one.
shirt
Gotcha.
with something weird written on it. So.
Yep.
Well, like DerbyCon had the MSO 86 birthday party.
Yes. God, that was fun. Freaking Mubik's making a cake.
Yeah.
And then there were 20 challenges on the cake, and yeah, it was like, what are we doing?
About that, but
Oh no, the cake was a challenge for a black badge, and I'm like, why is everybody it's cake? Why does everybody care?
Just eat it.
And Rob's like, yeah, it's for a black badge. I'm like, oh yeah, those are important. So yeah.
So if you so there's like a timer that they take a slice out, so it becomes harder and harder.
It all was, but I think it was more. There was a something in the icing, not QR code level, but there was something encoded somewhere. I think it maybe had binary on it and had to decode that.
Yeah.
Probably a scavenger hunt. Those were always popular at the Marriott.
Yeah, I remember the scavenger hunt. People would just be running around randomly, and you're like, "What is going?" I'm like, a bunch of
Lives
them
are on the line, and no, it's like this is for a $10 sticker. Yeah,
$10 sticker.
For a $10
Is that all it was?
Depends.
I will tell you. Speaking of which, I'm gonna pull a marker out of my pocket for you. There you go.
What do we got? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm doing threat modeling this year, so I was like, it'd be cool to have markers.
Yes, absolutely. Like threat markers, Yeah.
Threat markers. Yeah. I actually had someone go, "Does it smell?" And I was like, "Dang it! I could have had smelly markers."
Oh, you got next year.
Next year. Well, I'm not doing threat modeling next year, so it'll be a different time.
Some other type of mark. You can talk about indicators of compromise, instead of threat modeling.
Right.
And go to the next. And then, yes, this is an indicator. It smells like blueberry.
Yes.
The good ones to watch out for smell like blueberry.
I don't even know if they do smelly markers. I feel like someone got in trouble for
idea,
those.
but somebody will figure it out.
Yeah.
Tony, how are you?
Hold on. Tell me her name.
Dave Cronister, Parameter.
Great conference today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Where do you work at?
Perimeter, yes, Perimeter. ShowMeCon primarily. I do some Parameter stuff. A lot of my business partners take care of the operations over there, but, trying to get ShowMeCon back up, a couple conferences through the year and then just expand from there.
I love your work.
For the first time today, it's like, no, this is me.
I'm doing HallwayCon, by the way, so I'm recording this. Pretty cool. Pretty cool with that? Yeah.
No.
You know?
No.
No?
Consent.
No consent. No consent? All right, I guess I'm in the wrong crowd.
No, I consent now.
You consent now?
I've revoked my revoke.
What?
I've revoked my revoke. I consent now.
Okay.
Are you confused?
Yeah.
No, I'm confused.
No.
All right, as long as we're all good.
I have no idea if this is going to hold up in court, but
probably
I'm recording it until you tell me to stop.
Mexico.
Now I'm walking around with this thing, just like, have you seen Billy on the Street? Where he just walks around and just starts randomly asking people questions, but he'll walk around. Yeah, well, he'll walk around like Chris Pratt and go, do you know who this guy is? And people are like, no idea. Guardians of the Galaxy? No idea. Yeah. But I want to show people what HallwayCon's like, right? Or you don't go to the talks, you just...
Oh, in that case, yeah, we're talking about impersonating people by taking their business cards. So you got to...
Business cards. Weaponized business cards. That's exactly what this is. We have a new attack vector.
So you go to your conference, right, and you see the vendor booths, and you pick up a couple business cards, and now you can assume their identity pretty easily because
I've never thought of that.
Yeah. So I could take this Dan card here and go pop it in the fish jar over at Fortinet, and now Dan's for spam, and off to the races we go. Or you're trying to get into an RSA or Black Hat party, and you want to be somebody important from that party.
Just flash the card.
Yeah, there's so many people there. Those big companies, they don't know who's who, right?
This is what happens when vendors leave their booth unattended.
I'm just saying, the power of a business card. People underestimate that one, right? And they're free for the taking right here. Why spend the money at Staples duplicating them, right?
Yeah. And you like I've always thought, what can I do with all these? Because people hand out business cards like crazy. Like even if I don't ask for them, I get them, and I've got a stack of them at home, and I'm like, I got to do something with this.
Well, that's the fun part, right? You're at a conference, right? So the guy A gives you his business card, and thanks, and then guy B comes up to you to give you your business card. Give guy A's business card back to that guy, and then right, and just assume the identity, right? Have fun with the conversation.
They're very, very confused when they see you, Dan.
No.
No.
Or yes.
Or yes.
I just have one of those faces.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I remember you. Absolutely. You were going to give us sponsor money, right? Yep.
There's a lot of mics here.
There are a lot of mics here. And a Jeff. And Jeff.
And then I love that you also said that must be a Missouri thing.
It must be. I assume there's a high quantity of mics in Missouri. It's just a popular name.
We have a factory for them.
You have a factory for the mics? A mic factory.
We're going to have to show him.
Show them what?
Get it? Show me.
Oh, God.
Oh, the jokes.
So how's your hallway talks been? Have you?
I've only done like one other one with Ben, and
Okay.
yeah, the other one. I want to get some other people other than fucking Ben on my podcast.
Okay. All right. Well, now you got the business card content.
Yeah, I've got Dave on and Dan. You're Dan,
Okay.
right?
No.
Who are you?
I'm DJ.
You're Mike. DJ.
I like long walks on the beach.
Stealing cop
Strong
cars.
man, You got a couple felonies to commit to right now. Yeah, you got a minute? I want to clear my conscience.
Confessions
Last
and.
name M. Oh. I love that we don't have the video portion of this, right?
No, well, yeah, that's that would be a whole nother thing. I used to take photography at security conferences, and I always felt awkward because I told people, yeah, you come up to me, I'll delete your photo. Like if you saw me take a picture of you and you were in it, and you don't want to be on it, fine. Like I had to do that at Circle City Con one time. Someone was like, hey, can you delete the last one? I was like, sure, fine. But I always did feel weird walking around a security conference with a camera.
The one at St. Con, we've got a guy Pope that does the AV. He's moved into a hallway talks thing, and he just posts up in the corner with a nice little setup to sit down and have that interview. So it's kind of nice to have people come to you.
Yeah.
So you're not walking around, right?
Yeah.
Go just rip them out of the.
This is all new for me, so I'm just trying whatever. Yeah, but
Is it working?
I don't know. We'll find out how good the audio quality is.
They basically used AI to create.
Deepfake stuff?
What they did was they took all these scenes from movies and they deepfaked in all the faces of our senior managers.
Yep.
And it was hilarious, and it worked really well. And then they had like a whole 15 minutes of fake high school yearbook pictures of all the senior managers.
That's fantastic.
It was fantastic.
I was at CipherCon, and there was a team there. I cannot remember the company name. I apologize. You were a very cool company, but I just can't remember it right now. And that they were literally like, give us 30 minutes or give us 30 seconds, and we'll do a deep fake of you. And they showed how fast you can do it to somebody, and it was just mind-boggling, brilliant, and terrifying. And how do we defend against that? If sight is, we are sight-based animals, and if seeing is believing, and you can't believe what you're seeing, social engineering attacks. Woohoo!
Well, and I want to take this podcast. I want to create an entire episode with just using voice AI without actually having me to do it. Just give it a script and have it just do the entire episode, and I will write the script with AI. So
it can definitely be done, and I will say though, the more that I've worked with AI, the less impressed I am. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Did you read
social engineering a toddler?
Well, did you read the recent Verizon DBIR? And they're saying that AI is not having a significant impact. It is helping write malware and other stuff, but it's not having the impact that the news is like deepfake. Well, it might change, but to me, it's like that. Even going after like the person that got deepfaked in a video call. That's a spear phishing attack. Yep. That's a very edge case type of thing.
Same type of thing as always. It's a new way to do the same old tricks.
Yeah.
And that's.
But you're right. How do you? Because we got text calls, right? Now people are calling, and I've even heard of an attack where someone's setting up voice AI and then saying, "Hey, I have bad connection," and then start texting them.
Yep.
Right? Trying to get that conviction in that.
Again, another topic that's a whole nother podcast of talk about. But you get that little bit of trust to abuse, and it is delightful. So yeah, I
talked to Jason on the podcast for this conference, and he actually had a great idea: is setting up mail out code words. Right, so it's a simple solution, elegant, but it does. It's like, all right, what's the code word? And if they don't know what it is,
we have that at our house. We have
you have to at this point too.
We have the family password.
Yeah.
And that way, because we sit there and watch the news every day about the poor grandparents who are scammed out of all their money because their grandson is in Mexico being kidnapped.
Yep.
And so we're like,
and
look,
more of that's going to happen too.
Yeah. So we sit with our family code words to make sure we know what to do when that happens.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and that's something that it's simple to set up too, right? So you just need that code word.
I tried to go and buy onlytims.com this morning.
Oh, please. It's not available?
It redirect.
Somebody else here already.
Can we get only Tim's like .ai or something?
We'll see, because because in my talk I'm hopefully going to do a demonstration of a hot plug attack, but right now it pulls up like the Rickroll on YouTube. But I was thinking, it's like, man, if I could just build an onlytims.com site real quick, and it's just your my faces. Like,
that would be. I would totally be in for that. Yeah,
but I don't have enough time.
And we can get more Tims. Like we can have it grow by just adding Tims that we like, right?
And honorary Tims.
Yes. Well, and I will tell you, like, I have not met like a bad Tim. Like, there's never a Tim I'm like, that guy's a jerk. I don't know if you've had that experience.
No, we're all pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Great, humble human beings.
But I saw Ben and just sat with him for, and I'll probably cut it up, but it's going to be, it's really, I think, to show people like what HallwayCon is like, because I don't know that anyone's ever walked around. And we have so many great conversations that I'm like, this would be a great podcast.
Yeah, it's much more like, for me, there's obviously some talks that I want to see more so to support the people that are doing the talks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, fantastic research, fantastic people. And things like that. But yeah, for 90% of a conference like this is really about what's happening outside the tracks. Being able to catch up with people, establish some new relationships, and things like that. Just really what make the event special. I'm seeing people that I ain't seen in 6-7 years.
Yeah,
and it's like coming home.
Yeah, everyone's been saying that. It's like it's exciting for that it's back. Yeah. This is in the same venue.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of working for ShowMeCon for a couple of years when I was working for Parameter, and so got being behind the scenes and stuff like that. And since I've moved on in my career and stuff, but it's like coming back home. It's like I was thinking on the drive over here, I was on that stage 9 years ago. And it's like, that's so much of my life in terms of security, and so it's cool.
You spilled what on the CISO?
I spilled beer on the CISO.
Here?
No, at my company.
Okay.
At the company board meeting, you just
no.
Where were you at with the?
We were at Dave and Buster's for an after.
That's acceptable.
That's team building.
That's team building.
I barely hold on to things because I just knock it out of my hands. Like, oh crap!
Everybody else cheered for him, for sure.
And
then you were immediately fired.
No, but they left. everybody thought that was a good story for the reason.
It's a fantastic story.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, if you can do that and not get fired, are we continuing to push the limit?
Just grab a pitcher and just pour it on his head.
Right, let's see what else we can get away with. DR's down. No, still not fired. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Oh man. Yeah, there's good stories, especially from the older times. The reason kids aren't allowed in the data center because they're, what's this big red button?
Did you bring your kids in the data center? I need the story. Where's the story? Yeah.
Different job. Somebody was on call and he had to. He had his kids, but he had to go into the data center, and so he had to bring his kids. And so the kid was like, "Oh, what's this big red button?" Oh, it shuts down.
At least it's not like the Halo release system, right? That could have been real bad.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, that's just unexpected maintenance updates.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I've gone into data centers, right? There's signs, hey, no cardboard. I've never seen no kids, but if we go to...
it's...
No kids.
That's a great story. That's what I like about HallwayCon, too. You hear all these funny stories or just, insights.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, you see the signs up places, rules up places, and there's that question, like, that's there for a reason, right? Something happened. Nobody just invented it.
There's a story behind that sign.
So I'm curious how many other people have, like, weird signs in their data center. You could do a whole segment
No dogs.
Right? No dogs. No birds. No birds. No birds in the data.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a very good one.
Yeah, cockatiel got sucked into the crack.
The cockatiel.
I went ahead and got an information security degree and then followed up with a master's in cybersecurity. Mm-hmm. Now I can't get a job in cybersecurity even where I work. And I think part of it is that I'm not 30 years old.
Yes, I talked to a recruiter early part of this year because I was like, what? Like the market's been so freaking weird,
right.
Especially with the pandemic. And then like last year, a bunch of people got laid off. And she was like, yeah, they're coming, like it's coming back. But she said it's actually really hard in security for people young to get a job. And then people on the towards the end of their career, it's really hard for them to get a job. She says that's just what it is currently.
Was just, I did just send some resumes out external to the company just to see what kind of hits I'd get, which I had none except for government jobs, interestingly enough.
Uncle Sam's always hiring.
Yeah, they always are. I interviewed for like 3 or 4 of those, and then they never respond back. But even where I work, there was a bunch of positions that came open, and I know everybody who got hired for those, they're all younger than I am, and I'm sure they're coming in at a much lower salary than I am.
Yeah,
I've been there for so long.
That's
I think
big.
that's a component too.
Well, and that's where HallwayCon networking is. That's going to be your best way, and that's what she says. The networking is what's going to actually get you into a company more likely than anything else. I mean, and unfortunately,
value propositions too, right? Now you go to those companies and say, yeah, no, I'm whatever, based on metrics. I build metrics.
Oh, I love it. You just brought that all the way back around.
Yeah. That's the whole point. That's the hard part.
One of the things I'm looking at is, okay,
how do you differentiate yourself?
One of the big reasons to do the master's degree is a lot of my instructors, they have master's degrees. They're adjunct professors. It's like, well, I can retire from where I'm working and then be a professor, do adjunct stuff. That'll be awesome.
Those who can't teach, right?
I'm going for that, right?
Didn't you mention something about not having a degree and someone wanting to build a program, a college program? That may have been you or somebody else, but yeah, someone else, like the college wanted them as a security person to build a program and they didn't have a degree. And he's like, and then they said, you can't teach it.
Oh, I hate degrees. I hate degrees.
Yeah.
So degrees make sense if you could be a lawyer or a doctor.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
Right? Algebra hasn't changed in 2,000 years, right?
Yeah.
But this changes too fast. And then
Tech is 5 years behind.
Well, and this is why they're not hiring the kids out of school, because they don't know shit. Because
yes.
They're trying. And now, if you really want my soapbox,
I'm about to get up there with you, by the way.
Favorite one. Cybersecurity is not an entry-level job.
Yes.
Fuck you. It's a superset on top of IT.
Yes,
and if
absolutely.
If you didn't break your teeth in help desk and system admin, network admin, what are you securing?
Right.
You can't come into a pen test and tell me shit about it.
You have to know how it's configured properly to point out to other people how it's not configured properly.
That was one of my frustrations, because I'm an old Navy SATCOM guy.
Yeah, buddy.
So and they came to Edward Jones. They had satellite network. I was the Earth Station guy. So I transitioned Cisco, CCNA, CCNP, and then we're going cloud. I'm going to go get cybersecurity. So I was put in for jobs, and I got all the network background, but sorry, we'll hire some young guy from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I think we had that. It was like a pendulum, right? About 10 years ago, right? We need more people. We need more people. We're in a hiring deficit. Like, we need more people. And so they were just opening the doors, and now we're starting to get burned because those guys aren't really cutting it, or they're lying through their ass and they're making shit up. And now, like, we need actual quality people.
Well, here's my thing is, and this is me getting on my soapbox. I think the management level, you want to talk about looking at yourself. Managers need to look at themselves, because I will tell you, 90% of managers suck at their job. They do not. It's a shift in mindset. Once you get into management, you have to start moving away from getting on the keyboard. Not to say you still can't be technical, but there are other things, metrics, KPIs, strategy. You also need to be concerned about your people, because they are going to get the work done. And so that means, but that also means having an actual hiring process, not listening to what HR gives you. Because when you're hiring cybersecurity people, you need to do certain things to make sure they come in. And I get so frustrated with that, because I had like an 8-hour long process. Now, again, I put these people through it. I communicated with them. It was an actual thing that a lot of people appreciated, and they knew they were coming onto a good team. Most managers don't have that. They have like an
interview process.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have with a technical assessment as well too. So it's a thorough, and it's not meant to find the perfect candidate. It's to eliminate the person that's going to drag the team down. But what happens is a lot of managers have a 2-hour process. What is the most expensive thing in an organization? FTEs. It's not your technology, but we're going to spend 3 weeks and 3 different technologies to test out for a $100,000 product, but we're not going to do that for the people. Not to say send people through a 3-week process, but you need to vet them, and you also need to get away from the stupid fucking questions around why is a manhole cover round? Like that's so dumb. Or how many ping pongs? No, but because what you need is behavioral. You want behavioral questions, because you want people to tell you how they go about and do their work. So tell me about a time. Tell me about a time that you did X, right?
So I'll go a step further, and I am a firm believer of the hire fast, fire fast.
Yes. Absolutely,
School of business.
And that's what I'm saying. Even though I have an 8-hour process, I'm putting people through that in a week. Whereas I've been through 2-3 month processes where I've had 2 30-minute interviews.
And then on the flip side of it, the way you'll damage yourself is with that. My first hire, I fucked her over so bad because I hired her as a project manager, and I said, "Hey, cool, you'll be a project manager. Fucking go to work." And she's like, "Well, how do we do this? How do we do this?" And I was like, "Well, that's what I fucking hired you for." She's like, "Yeah, but like, what you're doing shit right now, like, what am I emulating?" I didn't have a single fucking process for her.
Yeah.
And so I had to look in the mirror and be like, "Okay, cool, we're gonna do this together." Right? Because this is on me, 110%.
Yeah.
But that's the trick. You can't hire someone until you have solid processes for them to follow. And a lot of businesses don't. Like, hey, welcome to IT. Go do IT.
Yeah, or onboard is the same way. They think onboarding is an HR thing. It's like each department is different. HR does not own anybody's onboarding other than getting them into the HR systems and maybe doing like a here's what our company does. But outside of that,
our culture.
outside of that, when I was hiring people, I blocked off, and I knew they started. I blocked off the next 2 weeks for meetings. Like I didn't, if a meeting popped up, I would take it, but I blocked off that time. I set up meetings with them to go through, like, here's what we do in the team. Here are my expectations, so you know how, because I come into organizations all the time, and it's like, I don't know this person, and it takes time, and I don't know their expectations for anything, right? And so I have to feel that out. And I'm at the point in my career, I know how to navigate that, but someone new coming in, and that's why these people, to your point, like are not doing so well, is because they need that guidance to get started. And it sucks, but I would say after 2 weeks, I have people working on the first Friday. They observe Thursday, Friday they're starting to do the work, and I'm like, but after 2 weeks, they're off and running on their own. But I am still doing, I believe in one-on-ones, having like weekly one-on-ones too.
So my hire fast, fire fast is caveated with you have to have the tools and processes in place to make them successful.
And that's what I'm saying. But managers don't even put thought into this. They're just,
And or a mentoring program like you were just talking about.
Yeah. I have a buddy. I have a buddy system. I say you're their buddy. So because one, I'm their manager.
but they need to have someone at their level that they can go to and talk shit about me, essentially, or they can tell the person below me can give them kind of some skinny on this is how Tim operates, this is what he wants.
Well, there's a company I was at that did the buddy program, but they made sure you were buddied with somebody in a whole different department just to get
and that's fine. I've seen that too.
Into the company culture, right? Like, hey, let me tell you about the company that's not in a way that we interact.
Yeah, and I think that's good because then you get to see, you get outside of that, and you can. That's useful for security people in general because we have it everywhere. So knowing people in marketing,
you
finance,
build that sphere of influence.
Yes. Well, it's not even influence. It's like, hey, what do you? And sometimes you call out stuff. It's like, wait, you're doing it that way? Oh. Yeah, no,
I don't know what we're going to talk about at 410, but
management hiring is something like if I ever keynoted, I'm just coming in, I'm ripping managers, like because I want people to feel uncomfortable, right?
That's why I mentioned earlier, 80 to maybe even more than 80% of leaders are just not the right fit, and that's why we have a lot of problems.
Yeah,
so that's why
absolutely.
That's why I was saying, forget if you have a good or bad one, do it yourself, and maybe you can become a leader later on, and then.
You have that influence.
Well, and the whole mentoring program and getting, because it's like, seeing this previous group I was on, the leader would say, well, hey, I'm gonna connect you with a junior person so they can work with you on everything you do so they can be up to speed. But then when their leader says, I need such and such fixed, they don't go talk to any of the junior people. They go to the people that they know will get it fixed because it's going to make them look better. Sure. So that cultural problem there is something we run into.
Promoted to their highest level of incompetence. You know, you're good at your job, you get promoted, and then you're bad at your job. Well, we'll keep you there.
Yeah, or like you were talking about, they create the problems and then they solve it and they look great within leadership eyes versus the manager that's got everything well running. There's no drama. There's they're easy to work with. That doesn't get seen as much as like the people that are solving them, looking like rock stars because they're solving problems that they created themselves or sandbagging.
They forget that the firefighter was actually the arsonist.
Well, it's about lunchtime.
Oh, is it lunch? It's lunchtime.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast, the HallwayCon podcast.
I think I just found you.
Did you? Yeah. Yep.
You're on the next episode.
On the next episode.
And that will do it. Hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, email me at timothy.dblock@exploresec.com or reach out to me on LinkedIn and let me know what you didn't learn, and we'll cover it in a future podcast. We'll see you next time, Security Explorers.